So you go to Starbucks for a meeting, but you don't go to Starbucks to get Starbucks. Use the Wi-Fi, use the restroom, but you don't get Starbucks. The manager at the Starbucks says, buy something or leave. You say, I'm not leaving. The manager calls the police. The police say, buy something or leave. You say, I'm not leaving. You are then arrested. But you were arrested without incident. You were arrested without causing a major scene. You just felt like what you were doing was correct. What do you think should happen to a person like this, or to people like this? Well, guys, they got way more than you would expect that they got. Almost makes me want to go out and cause a little bit of a ruckus. Let's break some news.
Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to TNN News, Raw and Uncut, with your host, Tom.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TNN News Raw. I'm your host, Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. The breaking news story that started out in Philadelphia when two men went inside of the Starbucks and was trying to have a meeting, they say, and in the process of the meeting, they were thrown into jail. Shocking, and America got upset and called for cries of racism. I talked about the differences between when black men and black women go into these places. I talked about how when black men, even though they had an issue, they handled it with class. They really did. And I said I didn't like what went on, and I still don't. But I like the way they handled it. If you are going to be arrested, then be arrested and don't cause a scene because you're choosing to be arrested. Handle it afterwards. They did it. And because they handled it with class, their reception was different. Now, for those who don't remember what happened, I'm going to give you a crash course or just to let you see exactly what went on the last time that we were at the Philadelphia Starbucks. And it's funny that this happened in Philly, being as that's also where Bill Cosby lost his fight with the man trying to screw with his life. Also where Meek Mills got out. Strange coincidences. But let's go ahead and watch this from Reuters. Here what you're watching is the men being all these bicycle cops, it looks like, because they got on the helmets. But it took a gang of cops to come and take out two men who were not fighting, who were not arguing, and I gave them 1000% kudos about this. The white man is sticking up asking, what did they do? He's like, these my niggas, they ain't did nothing. And look at them, they're not trying to cause a scene, they're not arguing, they're not yelling, they're not falling out on the floor, their titties not coming out. It was a simple arrest. No issue, no deal. And if you guys remember, that's what I gave them kudos for, because they didn't cause a scene, they didn't cause a problem. Well, the rest of the world found it to be a problem, and they found it to be problematic. And so at one point, the CEO came and spoke to them and apologized to them directly. Kevin Johnson came to Philadelphia and personally apologized to the two men. And in a joint statement with Mr. Nelson and Mr. Robinson, Starbucks announced that it had reached a separate settlement with the men earlier this week. A confidential settlement will allow both sides to move forward and continue to talk and explore means of preventing similar occurrences at any Starbucks location. But the big part about it is what was released and the number that was released. Let me let you guys hear this. The two black men who were arrested at Starbucks Cafe in Philadelphia police last month have released a financial settlement with the city. Rashawn Nelson, one of the guys, and Dante Robinson, the other, will each receive a symbolic $1. Yep. I was supposed to be able to, I wasn't even thinking. I have $1 up in this piece. Green screen might not allow you to see that, but $1 whole, like my man from Trading Places. It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes. Where's Clarence Beeks when you need him? Anyway, the two men who were arrested, who had not yet ordered and were waiting on a friend, were kicked off a roll, were kicked out of there basically over racial profiling is the way that it's being presented. And Starbucks announced days later it will require employees to have an anti-bias training. The settlement, which was confirmed by the BBC news spokesperson for Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kennedy, includes a vow from the city to include $200,000 to a new program. It's a grant, and it'll be a grant created as a pilot program for the public high school students with aspirations of becoming entrepreneurs. Robinson and Nelson will not receive any money from the grant. The arrest was captured on mobile phones and everybody was upset. The two longtime friends, both 23, had just sat down at the coffee chain's downtown location for a meeting to discuss a possible real estate deal. After spending hours in jail, they were released and no charges were filed. The Philadelphia chief of police later apologized for handling of the arrest. Mayor Kennedy said in a statement that he was pleased to have resolved the potential claims against the city in a productive manner. This was an incident that evoked a lot of pain in our city, he continued. Rather than spending time, money, and resources to engage a potential adversarial process, Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson approached the city and invited us to partner with them in an attempt to make something positive of this. The agreement is a result of those conversations. So these black men came to those white people who they had under the gun and allowed them a way out that would help other blacks, not themselves. Now, we don't know what the confidential agreement is, the confidential part of it is, but I'm sure they've gotten something that's nice. But the fact that they took the symbolic $1 and took $200,000 and invested it in the inner cities and those kids being in entrepreneurial programs, to me, blows it out of the water. This goes to show you, without the introduction and without the bias of black women with black men, we're quite civil. Look at how they were arrested versus look at how the black woman in Waffle House was arrested versus look at how the black woman handled herself at Popeyes versus I can tell you every black woman makes a scene. These men believed in what they were doing so much that they went to jail, like Martin Luther King, with class, because you know you do not hold court and fight in the street. So I want to say to these two young men, I want to say to Rashawn, and we'll make sure to get the other guy's name right. To Rashawn and Dante, Rashawn Nelson, Dante Robinson, I want to say thank you for representing black men in a proper manner. Whether I felt like what you did was correct or not, you knocked it out of the park with everything you did subsequent that and during, because you didn't act an a-hole. Thank you, brothers. And guys, this is TNN News Raw. Oh yes, got new music on the website. Go check it out. I'm out.
Don't believe me, just watch.